All right, people, so we're back. We got Chetwayo La Borde with us, and for the next 10 minutes, we'll be talking about cancer. We are 1 minute away from the hour of 8 o'clock. Seth, morning to you, man. Welcome back to the program.
Good morning,
And
good morning.
Cancer.
Yes, so cancer and Trinidad and Tobago. I was seeing that there was a conference held Friday. It was the 14th Annual Caribbean Association Oncology and Hematology Scientific Conference. So that took place on Saturday. So there's a representative from the United Nations that was there, and she was speaking with regards to some data from the WHO on cancer statistics for Trinidad. And the data showed that Trinidad and Tobago, if you are within the age of 30 to 70, you have a 20% chance of contracting or developing cancer. Right, 20% chance. That means 1 in every 5 individuals. So if you go to the first diagram would be the first diagram, diagram 1, with the 1 in 5 individuals. All right, so this is the statistics from the World Health Organization, right? 1 in 5 people. Now, that can be quite scary when you think about it, all right? But we need to start asking the bigger questions, because we shouldn't just see data like that, and of course data like that kind of puts you into a state of panic or fear. But just being a Trinidadian, that puts you at risk. That's what they basically saying. And they highlighted certain things. They highlighted alcohol, the high use of alcohol in Trinidad and Tobago, the use of tobacco, smoking in Trinidad and Tobago, of course sugar, and they also would have mentioned salt, right? Of course, you know my take with regards to that last one. Yeah. But we understand that alcohol is terrible. Smoking, of course, is terrible. And for years, I have been speaking on the dangers of sugar, all right? The aspect with salt, we need to understand that alcohol and tobacco are not essential for life or health. Dietary sugar is also not essential for life after a particular age. For those that get my book, you'll get to understand that. But salt, on the other hand, is essential for life. So I don't think salt should be lumped in to the category of those others, especially alcohol and tobacco, where without sodium and chloride, you are dead, right? So lump that in with that, I think that there is I would say is misrepresentation. But we're not going to make that the topic, right? What we have to do is understand that you have to look at the conditions and the environment that the cells are in that causes it to develop into cancer. So we have to ask the real question. So let's go to the diagram number 2, right? The real question, why is cancer becoming more common? It is more common today. Now, we have become very skilled at, when I say we are talking about the mainstream healthcare system and so forth, they have become very skilled at identifying a disease after you contracted the disease. What people have not been skilled in is preventing diseases, right? But we are quite skilled in identifying them. So then the focus many people are looking at is, or what clinics they could go to help treat the disease, right? Where they could go for testing to check for the disease. But how many people are focused on root cause of the disease? Why is cancer becoming more common today, right? We need to ask that question. We need to ask that question. And of course, it deals with the environment that your cells are in, the conditions that your cells are in. So let's go to the third diagram. Let's go to the third diagram. The internal environment is important. And we touched on some of these over the past couple of weeks as well. So here are 5 conditions that can damage cells and increase cancer risk. We have chronic inflammation. Now you need to understand that inflammation is not a bad thing. Chronic inflammation is a response of the body to foreign entities that enter your system. That is your part of your body's defense mechanism. So inflammation is not a bad thing. When it happens, when something enters your system, it might happen, you might have some inflammation taking place over a short period of time, hours, or a couple days. But when inflammation becomes chronic, that is a problem. So you have to also affect and look at the factors that causes the chronic inflammation. Then we have glycation. All right, glycation is when sugar attaches to proteins and other substances in the body, all right, and form advanced glycation. And products, and we touched on that already, and it's more so I touched on it I go a little more into it in my book as well. That's why I encourage people to get the book to open your understanding.
Just remember, how do you know how do you know your body's going through that glycation?
Oh, glycation is a process that would happen in your body regardless, but how the body deals with it and the amount that is happening is also an issue. Another way to test for glycation, HbA1c test, that is a measure of glycation. It measures how much glycation is taking place in the hemoglobin in your red blood cells. All right? So that's one of the tests that is used for that, all right? But glycation causes a lot of problems in the body. Damage to the kidneys, we saw that the other day. Glycation causes damage to the kidneys as well. But once you're consuming excess sugar, you're going to have glycation issues, all right? But as I've mentioned, I don't consume any form of sugar or carbohydrates whatsoever. So that reduces my body's ability to have issues with regards with glycation. Now, there are other factors as well that can cause your body to overproduce sugar that could even create a situation that causes a lot of glycation as well. And this is why I do my consultations and educate people on these things as well, right? Because there are certain factors that could cause such as low salt in the diet, right? That could cause that as well. But glycation can cause chronic inflammation. And then we have oxidative stress. Now, oxidation is also a natural thing that happens in your body as part of the metabolic process of cells. It produces what you call it, redox activity in the body. But when those activities is too much, it can become problematic and cause oxidative stress. Or when the other mechanisms in your body that is designed to deal with oxidation is reduced, and these come back to other factors. Glycation can cause a reduction as well. Poor nutritional profile can cause a reduction of your, what you call it, antioxidants and so forth, and that can increase oxidative stress. Then we have insulin resistance. Now, insulin is probably the most important hormone in the body because insulin is what is used to transport nutrients into your cells. So insulin is not a bad thing, it's a good thing, but when it's excessive, coming back again with too much sugar consumption, that can now cause your cells to start to reject it, all right? And that becomes problematic in your system, and that could lead not just to diabetes, but other metabolic conditions. And then we have the fifth one there, toxins.
Right.
Toxins. Now, when I say toxins, I'm not just talking about synthetic toxins, which is what everybody knows, but there are natural toxins as well. So it literally doesn't matter if it's natural or synthetic. Toxins are toxins regardless. And we have to understand that these play a role and affect the metabolic health of the body, the internal environment of the body. And that can affect how your cells operate. Now, those 5 things that we looked at, there are other things that could affect the body as well, but those 5 things, none of them are tumors, right?
No.
None of them are cancers, but they can cause the body to respond in a way that can create cancer.
Right.
And that comes back to what we were looking at last week with regards to your genes and gene expression. So if we pull up the 4th slide, genes are not destiny, as I explained last week as well. The environment controls how genes are expressed. And we need to understand that because the reason why cancer cases continues to increase is because our genes are designed to keep us alive for survival, but in a particular environment.
Right.
Now, we have changed the environment of the body, so the genes now are expressing themselves in a manner that results in cancer. Not because the genes are faulty, it's because we have created an environmental condition that is causing the genes to adapt. And that adaptation is creating disease, right? Adaptations are supposed to be positive, but it can be negative if the environment are off. So look at what we have here. Beyond your dreams, you have nutrition. What you eat matters the most, of course. Then we have sleep. Sleep is responsible for rest and repair. All right, so that helps with resting and repairing your body. Then we have, of course, movement. Humans are not designed to stay still. We are designed to move. We're supposed to be moving and remain active. So staying still is an issue as well, especially when nutrition is poor. All right? Stress, managing stress, all right, that protects your health. So we have to look at all the other stress factors involved, not just psychological stress, because we need to understand that psychological stress is a physical manifestation because it's chemical reactions that still have to let your body know, hey, it's in a stressful state, activation of the sympathetic nervous system. So
Right.
things like the poor nutrition, poor diet, can also put you in a stressful state as well, all right? And within your genes, you have immune responses, all right? So stronger defenses. So all of these help protect against disease. So these are how your genes are supposed to operate, right? Hormone balance, right? The body system within harmony. So all of that is supposed to be taking place within your genes. That's how your genes is designed. You have the energy production. So more energy is better function. And then your genes also designed to cell repair. All right? So all of these are how your genes are designed to operate to get the body to work better. So you cannot change your genes, but you could change how they express themselves, the gene expression. So
Right.
the environment matters. You have to eat correctly and take care of your health in order for your genes to respond correctly. You Are Not Sick, You Are Malnourished is the top-selling consignment book at RIK bookstores nationwide every month so far this year. Get your copy locally at RIK bookstores across Trinidad, Nelson's Bookstore in Tobago, internationally on Amazon for paperback, and on Gumroad for the digital copy. Let's go to the next slide. Now let's think about it in this manner. If you have two seeds, right? Two seeds. And you plant the seeds, one seed, two seeds, same genetics, and you plant one in good soil with good proper nutrition, nutritionally rich soil, and you plant in one with a nutritionally deficient soil. The plants are not going to grow the same. They are not going to grow the same, even though they are the same seeds, right? Because of the soil. Now here is the thing. If the environment can affect the outcome and could create disease, can the opposite also happen? If you fix the environment, can it cause disease now to regress? Right? And yes, the body has the capacity to heal. Cancer can regress. So you could move from diagnosis to regression and to remission. That is a possibility.
Right.
Right? That is a possibility. So what regression is the cancer cells or the cancer becoming smaller or less advanced. That can definitely happen in the right environment, but you have to change that environment. And what is remission? Remission is when the cancer is no longer detectable or is significantly reduced. All these things have happened and can happen. So regression and remission are possible, but the right condition matters. Now there is something that is quite documented in the medical and scientific field. The next slide is going to show it here. So let's go to the next diagram. And this has to do with spontaneous regression. It says why some regressions are called spontaneous. Now, what spontaneous regression is when somebody has like a terminal illness or a disease, and the disease either regresses on their own or goes into remission without any medical intervention, or the intervention that was done was not enough to explain why it regressed or why it went into remission. So it is called spontaneous regression.
Okay.
But if you directly affect the conditions, the environment, all right, that is not now spontaneous regression. If you deliberately and intentionally change what you consume, address your hydration issues, right? Proper nutrition, proper hydration, proper electrolyte balance, right? Proper
Right.
rest and movement.
Right.
And you get regression from making those changes. Is it now still spontaneous?
Well, no.
No, because that was an intervention.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen this at my clinic because I utilize nutritional therapy, right? Nutritional therapy, where we are intervening by making changes to correct the environment of the body, the internal environment. And by correcting the internal environment, you increases the body's likelihood of regressing the disease because you are dealing with the environment that caused the illness in the first place. And this is what we need to understand. We are spinning top in mud because people want to heal, but they don't want to change their diet and lifestyle.
Right.
And the other major factor is most people that are willing to change their diet and lifestyle do not have the knowledge required to change it in the correct direction. So a lot of people making dietary changes, but it's in the wrong direction, and it's resulting in them putting their health in a worse position. So let's go to the next diagram. Changing the condition changes the outcome. So poor environment, so you have inflammation, you have toxins, you have poor diet, you have stress. If you change that condition, all right, and you change the environment into a healthy environment with real food, proper nutrients, clean fluids, rest and movement, then the cellular health is also going to change. Cell function going to start working properly. It's going to start repairing, and regeneration is going to start taking place. And that is going to lower cancer risk. So you have stronger immunity, and you're going to have better long-term health. And this is what we need to understand. We have to address the environment of the internal body in order to facilitate healing and to prevent disease. We have ancient bodies, like I mentioned last week. We have ancient bodies. And the majority of things that we consume today, our bodies aren't designed to handle, and it's going to continue to create disease. So when you hear 1 out of every 5 people between the ages of 30 to 70 in Trinidad and Tobago are at risk to developing cancer, it is because we are still trying to feed the body things it is not biologically designed to consume. But we don't want to address that. Some people don't want to. I've had people call me and tell me, Stefan, they want to book an appointment, but they know they will have to change things in the diet, so they're not going to, right? They know they'll have to change. They didn't even know what they'll have to change in the diet yet, eh?
Right.
But they say they know they'll have to change things in the diet, and they like what they currently consume, so they're not going to. They ain't ready yet. When are people going to be ready? When you develop a terminal illness? When are they're going to wait till they're dead? A lot of people come to me when all the other health clinics and institutions send them home to die. That's when they come, right? They come as a last resort, and now willing to make these changes, right? And now willing to make these changes. And we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. We should be preemptive instead of reactive. Yeah. And this is the mindset of our nation. We are not proactive, right? We are not proactive. So let's go to the last slide, right? Don't wait until cancer develops. Protect the environment. Your cells live in every single day. We need to protect our internal health, our internal environment, all right? We need to do that. And if we continue to lapse, all right, I think worldwide now is around 20 million people diagnosed with cancer at present. To say by the year 2050, it's estimated to reach to 35 million. So cancer cases are just going to 35 million per year. I'm talking about per year. 35 million per year. So cancer cases are continuing to rise. You know why? Because the trends are not changing. We are continuing to follow certain lifestyles when we are not biologically designed to live those lifestyles. Our body is not designed for such lifestyle. That's like taking a fish and putting it in sand and expecting the fish to live, right? That is what we have been doing. So if you want more knowledge on proper nutrition to understand how your body is designed to truly eat, go out there, purchase my book. It's It's available at RIK bookstores nationwide, at Nelson's bookstore in Tobago. It's on Amazon as well. The digital copy, for those that don't like to read physical books, the digital copy is available on Gumroad. You can message me directly for the books, available at my clinic as well, because we need to make changes. These statistical data is a representative of what is happening in society right now, and it is quite frankly alarming.
All right. Yeah. Well, people, you can give Seth a call on 279-3935 or 761-1952. Make sure, check him out. You can book an appointment, and of course, you can get the book, as he said. Well, thanks a lot for the information on cancer. I hope you guys are paying attention. I know a lot of people down in the St. James Infirmary were complaining the other day about a shortage of medication. They said something with the machine being down. And these people depend on these services, because they believe that, that's the other thing, but we run out of time, and I don't pass my time by a mile. But people depend on these services that, I don't know, boy, you're going on there and you're doing, it is chemotherapy and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I have never heard anybody do chemo and survive. I'm telling you, maybe very a small percentage, maybe, but and that is the standard, right? So I mean, I don't know.
Could be before that. You don't want to reach to the point of developing a disease that you now have to go and burn down the whole rainforest to capture the one jewel thief. That's what we're doing, right? That's what chemo is.
Well, I mean, when you're done there already, I mean, you're resorting to a type of treatment that, to me, it doesn't work. I know real people who died from cancer and they went through the process and chemo and medication, and it might extend you. It might buy you maybe a few months, maybe in some cases a year or two, but it never really works. It doesn't reverse the disease.
And I know some people who develop new conditions from the chemo, right?
Well, all of that too. But we got to take the final break. When we come back from this break, I'm going to get to the birthdays very quickly and then we're out of here. We'll be back after this.
Are you tired of managing symptoms without understanding why your body is breaking down? Chetwayo's Holistic Health Clinic provides consultation and re-education sessions followed by nutritional therapy programs designed to address the root causes of chronic disease. The clinic works with clients in Trinidad and Tobago and internationally, helping people rebuild the body through correct nutrition, not drugs, supplements, herbs, detoxes, injections, or quick fixes. Chetwayo is also the author of You Are Not Sick, You Are Malnourished, a powerful health book that has been the top-selling book on consignment at RIK bookstores nationwide every month since entering the stores. If you're struggling with cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, autoimmune issues, fertility challenges, digestive problems, or other chronic condition, book a consultation and re-education session today. Purchase the book at RIK bookstores nationwide, Nelson's bookstore in Tobago, Amazon, or Gumroad. Visit chetwayoclinic.com or call or WhatsApp 279-3935 or 761-1952. Chetwayo's Holistic Health Clinic, rebuilding the body, reversing disease through nutritional therapy.